Jayam Vishnu Padapanamhamsa Parirachakcharya Ashtadana Satta Shri Srima His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Padapanamhamsa Parirachakcharya Ashtadana Satta Shri Srima His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Shri Hari Rastaku Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Govindan Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagnapuri Dham Ki Jai. Gangamai Chamunamai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Trusi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Hare Rama Sankirtan Ki Jai. ISKCON New Twagadam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanandi Hari 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 Bo. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nanayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devin Sarasvatim Vyasam Tatvajayam Uditrayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 18, text number 44. Tat Adya Naha Papam Upaiti Anam Vayam Yam Nashta Natasya Vaso Urumpakat Parasparam Gananti Shapanti Rinjate Pashum Striyo Tam Puru Dasyavo Janaha Tadadyana Papam Upaityam Nam Vayam Yanashta Vaso Vinumpaka Parasparang Gananti Shapanti Rinjate Pushum Striyotam Purudasyo Vojana Tadadyanat Papam Upaityam Nambayam Yanashta Natasya Vaso Vinumpaka Parasparankananti Shapanti Rinjate Pushung Striyotam Purudashovo Jana Tadadyana Papam Upaityanam Vayam Yanashtana Tasya Vasovinumpakam Parasparam Kranti Shapanti Rinjate Pashun Striyotam Purudashovo Jana Pashun Striyotam Purudashovo Mataji, Yanashtana Tasya Vasovinumpakam Parasparam Kranti Rinjate Pashun Striyotam Purudashovo Jana Tadadyana Papam Upatyanam Yanashtana Tasya Vasovinumpakam Parasparam Kranti Swapana Rinjate Pashun Striyotam Purudashovo Jana. Thought, for this reason, Adya, from this day, Naha upon us, Papam, reaction of sin, Upati, will overtake, Anam Vayam, disruption, Yat, because, Nashta, abolished, Natasya, of the monarch, Vasoho of wealth, Urum Pakat, being plundered, Parasparam, between one another, Gananti, will kill, Shapanti, will do harm, Rinjate, will steal, Pasum, animals, Striyaha, women, Atam, riches, Puru, greatly, Dasyavaha, thieves, Janaha, the mass of people. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Due to the termination of monarchical regimes and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these sins, we shall be responsible. Purport. The word naha, we, is very significant in these words. The sage rightly takes the responsibility of the Brahmanas as the community for curing monarchical government, and thus giving an opportunity to the so-called Democrats, who are generally plunderers of the wealth of the state subjects. The so-called Democrats capture the administrative machine without assuming responsibility for the prosperous condition of the citizens. Everyone captures the post for personal gratification, and thus, instead of one king, a number of irresponsible kings grow up to tax the citizens. It is foretold herein that in the absence of good monarchical government, everyone will be the cause of disturbance for others by plundering riches, animals, women, etc. So please repeat. Due to the termination of the monarchical regimes and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these sins, we shall be responsible. Om Jnana Timinandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Umilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapidan Yena Budare Swayanupa Kadama Hyan Tadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padagamanam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagananda Kunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Taptakam Chana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishvane Rishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. Due to the termination of the monarchical regime and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. people will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen, and for all these sins we shall be responsible. So, this is what exactly happening all over the world now. I just read the news that all over the world there are so many problems because of the bad leader in the society. So I just list a couple of problems in different countries. For example, Iraq has been dogged by days of protests, as thousands of mostly young men have been demonstrating in different parts of the country against corruption, unemployment, and poor public services. Security forces have responded using water cannon, tear gas, live rounds, and rubber bullets. Many of protesters have been killed and thousands wounded. So this is what's happening in Iraq now. And also, anti-government protests have rocked Hong Kong for months, and the situation shows no sign of dying down. See, Hong Kong's protests started in June against proposals to allow extradition to mainland China. Critics feared this could undermine the city's judicial independence and endanger dissidents. Until 1997, Hong Kong was a British colony, meaning it was controlled by Britain. Since returning to Chinese rule, it has more autonomy than the mainland, and its people more rights. The arrangement is known as one country, two system. So Hong Kong, that means Hong Kong is capital system, and whereas the mainland China is communist system. So this is called one country, two system. But city leader Carrie Lam agreed to suspend the extradition bill. But demonstration developed to include demands for full democracy, and then inquiry into police actions. The bill was withdrawn in September, and then there are thousands and thousands of people. They took to the street and protest, and the clashes between police and activists have become increasingly violent, with police fire live bullets and protesters attacking officers and throwing petrol bombs. So this is only two. I gave only two examples. Yes, there are so much more all over the world now, you see. This is all due to bad management, bad leaders in the society. Yeah. Oh, so this verse is actually Shingi's father, Shamika Rishi. Actually, he speaks to his son, because Shingi, due to immature, he cursed uh, the, the great king Parikshit Maharaj to die within 7 days. So upon hearing the curse from his immature son, Shamika Rishi, he spoke the following verses, including today's verse. In the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada is talking about the monarchical government and the Democrats. Actually, Prabhupada he said that according to to Srimad Bhagavatam, the monarchical regime represents the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. So the king is said to be representative of the absolute personality of Godhead, because he is trained to acquire the qualities of God to protect the living beings. So here is very important that, you know, the king has to be trained to acquire the quality of God in order to protect the living beings. So what are the qualities of God? So what are the qualities the king should have? So let's take a look. Actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna already listed the qualities of the king. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Abhayan Sattvasan Sudhir, Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti, Dhanan Damaschadhyaknascha, Swadhyayas Taba Ajavam, Ahimsam Satya Krodas, Tyaga Shanti Apaishunam, Daya Bhuteshu Doluptavam, Madhavam Hir Achaparam, Teja Shama Tidisocham, Atroho Nati Manita, Bhavanti Sambatan Daivin, Abhijatasha Bharata. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, third, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, sturdy determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly man endowed with divine nature. So Krishna, he listed here the what the king should have, what qualities a king should have. But unfortunately, nowadays, we actually do not have such a nice king. Right. In the Maharaj Yudhishthira's regime, it is said that everything is so prosperous, just like in the prayers by Queen Kunti. She said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits. The rivers are flowing. The hills are full of minerals. And the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. And in this verse, in the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada gave really wonderful explanation how the government should manage the citizens, how can be a peace and prosperity in the society. So I want to read this, to share with everyone. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he said, human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aim of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general. Although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation, the natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the sea full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at the times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our means of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is necessary of running a slaughterhouse and kill poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetable to eat. The flow of river water fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate man? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. So I will just stop here. Is anyone has any comments and questions? Yes, please. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a very nice class. Rather short, I must add. Rather like finished before we expected it to finish, but otherwise very nice. And so I was noting, how Prabhupada said about how the sage in the story, how he felt responsible for the actions of his son, and the consequential reactions of that action that would change society.
Mm.
And it struck me about the huge responsibility that he took, that he felt maybe because he didn't train his son properly, or because the Brahminical community didn't train the son properly, or something like that, that they would take the responsibility and the reactions for everything. And I was thinking about how, Srila Prabhupada came and invested in us this huge culture, Vedic culture, which was, dying out and becoming degraded in India. And he came to the West with the hope of planting that seed of knowledge in the fertile soil of the Western countries. And so it just struck me again how how we carry such a responsibility to make sure that actually what Prabhupada taught and not what our personal agendas are is actually what takes place in ISKCON. Because the whole future of the planet is dependent on that. And it's so dependent. And if we represent Srila Prabhupada, the consequences are huge. And I was also thinking about how you brought up about the natural wealth of the planet Earth. And part of Prabhupada's legacy was to show people an alternative lifestyle also, how to live with nature instead of exploiting nature. And that's also something that we've kind of like gone by the wayside in the last few years in our movement. And it is a huge responsibility also, along with many other things, but that's because those two things connected in your class, I connected that also. And my question is, where are the checks and balances within our movement if in the case that, we're not really, criticism is so heavily condemned. So if something is wrong, there's really very difficult to rectify, because everything has to go through a certain system, and that system is not really working. And therefore, how do we make sure that this movement does represent Srila Prabhupada and does do what it was created for? That's my question.
So that's why we have Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. You see, we have to always follow Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. If we make sure that whatever we are doing is following the orders of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, then there will be definitely success in our preaching activities. Yeah, it's actually very simple. We just need to follow the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. Like Nyantar Prabhu, he was telling us the other day in his class, we are a preaching movement. We should just follow the teachings of our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, going out, distributing books, distributing prasadam, and have harinam. If we do this, definitely there will be success. Of course, we cannot expect that the whole world will be changed overnight. We can't expect that, It's a gradual process. Yeah. So is anybody has any other, Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you for a very wonderful class, right out of the Shastras. You can't go wrong when when you read the Shastras. So thanks. I don't have to question that at all. But I wanted to make one point, and that is, you mentioned a list of, excuse me, a list of very good qualities that a kshatriya should have, such as courage and strength and sacrificial mentality and surrender and humility and all of these. But I want to mention this, and it's very important, that even if a person has all these qualities and manifests all these qualities, if they are not dedicated for the purpose of serving and loving and pleasing the Supreme Lord, they are useless, totally worthless, and a society can still crumble, notwithstanding all these qualities, because it is not qualities that we depend upon. Qualities are good if they're dedicated to, devoted to, and consecrated to the loving service of Krishna. When Krishna is pleased as a result of that loving service, he then gives us his grace, gives us his kindness, gives us good weather, gives us lots of minerals, gives us all the things we need to further our spiritual progress and advancement. As I said, that's what the Western civilization is trying to do, just have some good qualities, righteousness and sacrifice and this and that, and that's going to keep the society running, not necessarily. We can see many people have nice qualities. They go to church, they go to synagogue, they go to the mosque, and they have virtues, but they don't dedicate it to, they don't devote it to. They're not giving it as a love offering, as Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give, do it for me. So if we're not consciously doing it for Krishna, as I said, while it's nice to see virtues, it's not nice if they're not going to fulfill the real purpose of virtues, which is to please Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much for your wonderful point. Actually, it is also said, Prabhu also said in the purport to the previous verse, he said that the king should be a good king. He should be the representative of the absolute personality of God, Sri Krishna. Yeah. So that means he should be a good devotee of Krishna, and he should make sure that the subjects he's ruling, they are all, practicing devotional service to Krishna. And then, everything auspicious will come. Right. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
That's a beautiful and wonderful purport that you just read, of Prabhupada explaining all the inconveniences of a big industrial civilization. So as we were going, it's a comment, as we were going on Sankirtan to distribute books with Brigupati, we saw at the peak of, traffic time, thousands and thousands and millions of cars. And then I said, even if we distribute these books to these people, to many of these people here, there's one thing that they have in mind. How to, as they read it, how can this will be benefit to me so I can keep just going the way life is in the city. So what's the ultimate benefit in one sense? They're just like, okay, what this book will give me to increase my power of my home, my family, society. So then I said, the conclusion will be actually, it's unfortunate, I don't want to say this, but I don't really mean it that way, but it looks like Mother Earth has to shaken us up in a situation in which we don't have any other hope and get us out of the big cities. Just like, for example, I was telling him, if you have a person who is a drug addict and you can give all the counseling, you can give anything you want, all the knowledge, but if he doesn't get out of the environment, he will still go back to the same thing. So the point that I'm trying to make is that unless we, along with all the sadhu, guru, and shastras that you were quoting, and devotees faithfully follow, the routine will be the same for the citizens. You give the books, but they will still use it for what they want. But instead, if we have alternative, if we have that, they say, oh, there are some people who are actually, doing what can bring them out of that if they have an option. So
That's a good point. That's why we need to establish the one ashram system. We have to show people in general an example. That's a
thank you very
nice
much.
point.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we will stop here. Thank you so much for coming. Gantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai.